Whitera here with another Starcraft 2 replay. And we're spawning on Neo Planet S, and we have the Ukrainian Whitera spawning as the red Protoss in the bottom left. In the top right, we have the Whitera and Clyde. So Neo Planet S is a smaller map. A lot of players like to perform cheeses on a map like this because there's only one spawn location. You know where your opponent spawns. Whitera is starting off with a pylon, and Clyde's going to start off with a supply depot. Going to be blocking off some of that ramp into his natural. Some things to take note is that the third in this map is difficult to take. You can either take this third, but then it has two entry points. One from the back way in, and some destructible rocks, and one from the main ramp. The other third that you could take is like a loop from your natural, like a horseshoe. And this also has three ways to go in. One from like a triangle. So it's difficult to defend both. Generally, players elect to take this as your third, as it only has two ways to come in instead of three. Clyde tells Whitera not to use special tactics, that it's not fair. Whitera says okay. I don't know what a special tactic is. I don't think building a gateway or building a barracks after your supply depot and pylon is a special tactic, so we'll have to see what's going on. Clyde is building a refinery and a simulator for Whitera as well. So no one's going to be doing any early game cheeses. There may be some early game pressure. Another thing to take notice is that in the middle there are gold minerals, but in virtually every game this is not utilized simply because these bases are very difficult to defend. You have the higher ground around the minerals on your side, so it's very difficult to defend. And these are almost never utilized, like I said before. Clyde is finishing off a second supply depot while finishing off his orbital demand. Whitera is going for a second assimilator and is almost finished his cybernetics core. And he hasn't built a zealot, so he's going to wait for cybernetics core before he builds a stalker. And Clyde is going for a Reaper, probably just going to go for some scouting, maybe pick off a probe or two if he's fortunate. And he's got the command center on the high ground. So this Reaper has to be able to distract the Protoss from coming in, because Reapers are not good against gateway units, and Marines without stim and medevacs, they're also not that great against gateway units. Clyde's going to be building a second barracks. Whitera is researching warp gate, pretty usual, nothing different. Probe's looking for some proxies, but the Reaper's going to come on in. Notices there's no expansion. The Mothership Core is going to scare away the Reaper away. But the Reaper should be able to pick off this probe. This lonely probe is going to go down. So the Reaper has done his job, more than his job. He's got the scout in and has also destroyed a probe. He's going to sit out, going to regenerate a little bit of life, while Clyde is finishing off his second command center and also going for an engineering bay. I don't know what Arno means. Might have to ask Clyde what that means. His Reaper's at full life, so so he's able to go back in and take another gander. Stalker's going to be popping out now. Stalker's hanging out on the high ground to prevent the Reaper from jumping in. The Reaper might just jump in anyways. Yep, that's what it looks like he's going to be doing. He jumps on in. He scouts the cybernetics core. He scouts the Stalker. He also scouts double gas. So he's gonna be able to scout these two gateways on the left side. It doesn't look like it. One more hit, and the Reaper is down. So I don't think Clyde saw those two gateways. Yeah, he didn't see the gateways, so he might be thinking that he'll be building a robotics facility, which he is anyways, but maybe he's saving up for Immortals or Colossi. But he didn't see the extra gateways on the side. Clyde, on the other hand, is getting stim packs, has a whole bunch of Marines, and is going to lift off his orbital command, going to take his natural. Whitera has not really scouted his opponent. He's going to do that now with his lone stalker. So he's not sure what Clyde is up to. Clyde could have been going for Banshees. Clyde could have been doing a lot of things. The stalker sees the bunker, so He's probably going to safely assume that it's some sort of expansion play, as he hasn't seen any early game aggression. Once that bunker's complete, the Stalker cannot do anything. The Stalker's going to go in for another peek, but he's just going to lose some life. The robotics bay is going down, and Whiteraw's building a sentry, and he's building an observer. So this game is going pretty normal, nothing out of the ordinary. Squad of Marines is going to head around the top left. Clyde is suspecting possibly some sort of DT play. He's building a missile turret, which is kind of unusual. Generally, Terran players put missile turrets right by their orbital commands and planetary fortresses to stop drops and to stop DTs. But he's electing to build one by his bunker. He's also building a factory, and he's also getting +1 weapons. The Marines are coming down the bottom. The observer did not see this little aggression, this little push, but the second observer is going to spot it. But the Marines are basically already at the natural of Whiteraw. So Whiteraw's only got 3 sentries and a Stalker. Okay, well, the planetary Nexus cannon, or the Nexus cannon is going to scare off of the Marines. The Marines are going to try and get away, but the Stalker is faster, so the Stalker's going to maybe be able to pick off a few Marines. Oh, there goes the stim, and that's going to do a lot of damage, as 16 Marines just did a unnecessary stim. And there's no medevacs. Well, the starport is finished now. Is he going to lift off? Yeah. Starport's going to go get the reactor from the factory. Factory's just going to lie down. Researching combat shields. Whiteraw's going to destroy destructible rocks back in his natural. He's also got double forge going and also thermal lance. So he's going to be building colossi. He's putting down more gateways as well. So this is going to be his force is going to consist of gateway units and colossi, not of immortals or any Stargate units. He's also getting Twilight Council down. So he's going to be doing both. He might be getting Zealot Charge, maybe also upgrading to Templars later on. Clyde, on the other hand, is putting down 3 more barracks. He's got 2 medevacs boosting to get to... Okay, well, looks like the medevacs are going to meet up with this little squadron. The supplies are pretty close, 83 to 87. But the army supply, or the army of Clyde, looks a little bit scarier. And the Colossus still does not have Thermal Lance. Thermal Lance is almost completed, but it's going to be another 30 seconds or so. So for the next half minute, it's going to be very difficult for the Colossi to do much. Whiteraw is expanding at the 3rd. Clyde spots that, but he's just going to go in for the drop into the main base. Some of his other forces are left outside. I'm not sure if they're going to be diversionary force or whatever. The Marines are popping in. They're not stimming, though. They are stimming now. They're going to take out the Cybernetics Core. The Colossus is going to come in and try and do some damage. Whiteraw has to be careful here. He's going to lose his Colossus if he doesn't micro. The Colossus is blown up. The medevacs are going to load up, and they're going to go away. And they're going to drop off into the natural, or into the front of the natural. The Colossus now has thermal lance, so he's able to use that range to do significant damage. But Whiteraw doesn't micro it correctly, and now the other Colossi is down. The sentries are going to try a force field, but one missed force field. Look at this 4th force field. It's missed. If it was here, it could have blocked off this force. Now Whiteraw's expansion is going to go down. All the probes are getting away. The Zealots... Oh, Whiteraw's is well played, so I guess that's GG. And Clyde is victorious. He's built a 40 supply lead, as basically once Whiteraw lost the first Colossus here, the push was already very successful. And the second one was basically the haymaker. Once he lost the second Colossus, he wasn't able to do anything. If he was able to put down the 4th force field and block off this entire force, he would have got a few more seconds, might have been able to build more units, might have been able to extend the game, and the Colossus might have been able to do something. But unfortunately for Whiteraw, the Colossus went down, and so did his hopes of winning the game. So good game, and see you guys next time.